My name is Mace.
I'm Sidra, a co-host.
And we're proud to bring to you Starlink Pulse in a contemporary video podcast format.
This is your place to keep up with the people and solutions that drive our tech industry forward. But even more importantly, this is your place to unwind and have real casual chats away from much of the formalities of our industry.
With that being said, there's no better way to start the first episode of Starlink Pulse than by having the founders and leaders of Starlink join us. Nidal Othman and Mahmoud Nimr, welcome.
My pleasure.
Thank you for having us, and congratulations for a great studio and a great initiatives.
Thank you. So let's start from the beginning, before Starlink was born. I want to ask you guys, how did you both get into IT and cybersecurity? And then how did you both cross paths and meet?
Should I start? Actually, he's older than me, so he can start. Go ahead, Mahmoud.
Thank you, Nidal. So actually, my major was my dream since I was a kid. And I graduated as electronic and computer engineer. And from there, I started my career in '93 actually as a networking engineer. I participated in building many of the biggest networks in the region. By that time, internet came into the region and the need for sharing information was also a mandatory requirement. And that brought my attention actually to the cybersecurity domain. And because of that, I have decided to join one of the vendors specialized in cybersecurity. And I started actually my journey from there.
Interesting, Mahmoud. I think for myself, I grew up in Kuwait, and Kuwait at that time used to be the leading country when it comes to trading, and really they have one of the most sophisticated education systems. So I finished my high school in Kuwait, and I got my first PC in 1989. And from that moment, really, I felt that there's really a great industry in the computer in general, and I want to pursue my, development and my knowledge and my expertise. And I went for Jordan, and I studied computer information system. And I was really very fortunate to start my career as a web developer, because we have very few people who has internet access in Jordan. So I was focusing in web development, and then I moved to Bahrain, working for internet service provider, plus web development as a developer, and providing internet access to the entire Saudi. So Saudi Arabia at that time, I'm talking about 1996, they used to get internet access through Bahrain. So we were internet solution providers to many organizations in Saudi Arabia. Then Dubai, during that time, actually, I have very interesting project in Bahrain. I developed the first online payment gateway. And the main challenge we faced at that time was how I will be able to securely do the online transaction. So from there I get into security, and I feel that this is really a very dynamic domain to get more specialized in IT, to be focused in cybersecurity. At that, I think it was 1998. Then in 2000, Dubai started the Dubai Internet City as a technology hub for the regions, and I felt, moving to Dubai, it will give me another exposure to the market. So I moved to Dubai, working for one of the largest system integrator. And then this is where I met Mahmoud. After that, I worked with one of the system integrators in 2003, I think, Mahmoud.
Yeah, we came across actually.
Exactly. So we were together trying to build the security practice to Imitech.
Correct.
It was one of the largest system integrator, and they want to start their security practice. So we worked together. And then I moved to Symantec. So I believe actually the diversity of the experience that I gained working in the local market in different countries, working in the regional, it gave me a different experience, and working for international company as well. It really enriched my skills and experience. And it was a very good experience to reach to a point where you are shaped with the best, to work with the best companies, with the best people. And this is how we started our career.
So how did you guys end up getting the idea to start a company together?
This is an interesting question actually, and It started actually when we cross each other in one of the regional companies here, where we are responsible to create the company's cybersecurity practice and profile. And from there, we shared together the same passion and the same dream. And that is how the idea came into picture actually. And we were lucky because we were in an environment where we were inspired actually by Dubai global success. And Dubai at that time also, and till today, is a great hub for the region. It is a great environment for all the startup companies. And we took the decision together and we said, okay, let's do it. And we started from there.
It was a very humble start, but it was a great idea. I remember we met in a coffee shop together, and really we have like piece of paper and we say, let us start thinking about what will be the business model, what will be the name. And having like 10 plus years of experience in this domain in cybersecurity, I think we find it's the best way to start a startup organization focusing more in cybersecurity. So it was a dream that to have our own startup. But the only really, I remember the first even office, Mahmoud, was a very humble, start. It was only one table with 2 chairs, and the only asset we have at that time is only about, it was our credibility and reputation in the market that we managed to gain from our previous engagement with our customers and the system integrator that we worked with our vendors as well. It was a very humble start. It was only me and him. We were doing sales, pre-sales, support, services, logistic as well. Right. So it was multitasking. So we built it, step by step. But really, we were enjoying every moment till today. We are enjoying what we are doing, and it was a great success story. I was always, reading about these success story that happened in US, and I feel that this is only happening in US. We don't see this kind of success story happening in this part of the world. But really, we made it. It was a good story, and this is how we have a dream to build our own company. And really the taste of freedom to have your own, you have a full control of your time, and you do whatever you would like to do. You have the flexibility even to put your business model the way that you think is the best fit to the market. It was a great opportunity, really. And one of the key success between me and him that we complement each other. Yeah. So that's I have certain weaknesses, he had that strength, and this is how we managed to work together today, and really having both of us leading the organization with the size of Starlink. It's interesting that every year we keep the same momentum, the same growth. This is how we started.
So Nidal and Mahmoud, both of you had a very successful and a progressive career. And despite that, you decided to embark on a new journey. So did you face any personal challenges? What was it like back home? Were your family really supportive of the decisions that you took at that time?
For me, I was working with one of international company, highly paid, satisfied, I have all the facility. To quit and start something from scratch is not an easy decision in a market like Dubai with a high responsibility, high expenses. So that's the main thing. It was the higher. The second main challenge at the personal side is I don't have time for the family, right? So the entire time and effort that I was putting in building the organization. So this is the main 2 challenges at the personal level.
I think from my side, to complement what Nidal mentioned, it was always the objective of not letting anyone down. I'm talking about our vendors, partners, customers, our employees, and our families. So that was the main challenge. So we have only one way, which is success. So we managed to do it together based on our insistence to go into that direction and achieve success.
So, Mahmood, we spoke about personal challenges, right? So, how long did it take until the business took off, and what led it to start taking off?
As I remember, it took us almost 6 months of hard work.
Okay, 6 months.
And I think the reason behind this was our unique go-to-market strategy, our specialization also in the domain. Beside that, our experience actually, and our reputation in the market. We were very well connected in the market, and we have a very good reputation, and we delivered what we committed. All of this allowed us really in a short time to gain some of the biggest references in the region.
That's nice. So, Medad, Starlink was born at a time where the idea of value-added distribution was fairly new. So, did you face any partners' rejection of the approach of touching the end users?
I cannot say rejection. It was when you look at the partner community today, they used to work with the traditional distributor. So when you look at the traditional distributor at that time, they are offering logistics and financial facilities, and usually the role of distribution at that time was purely fulfilling orders. So when you look at the sales cycle, they are coming at the end of the sales cycle, just fulfilling an order. So when we start with our unique business model of generating a demand and reaching out to the end user and promoting the technologies, and so we have to, because of our relationship with the customers and the reputation that we have with them, we start talking to our customers. And I believe that the partners community, they did not, used to having a distributor talking to the end user. They used to be in the back end. It was new for them. But with the time, the partner community start understanding our go-to-market strategy, and they start appreciate the value that we bring, because we are generating a new business, an incremental business, which everything at the end will be 100% fulfilled with the partners. So if you look at the partner community today that we operate with, we have a cybersecurity specialized partners or cloud specialized partner, and we have the large system integrator, and we have the global SI, and then we have the managed services provider. So each partner has a different way to engage with. So it depends on the skill set that they require. For the specialized partner, they have the sales reach, but they want maybe the technical support from us. Maybe we are acting maybe as a fulfillment for them. But when it goes to the system integrator who is trying to build their security practice or the cloud practice, they really count on Starlink skill set and capabilities and sales to help them to accelerate the sales cycle. So it depends on our engagement. So we are working in a very dynamic environment. So we aligned our strategy, and it depends on how the partner would like to interact with us. So I think in 16 years, we have proven that this is a very successful business model. And the partner really, they appreciate what we have done as bringing a new business. And we call it value-add exchange. So they are giving us a fulfillment business. In return, we give them a value-added business.
So speaking about challenges, remaining on this topic, it's known that startups usually get an investor's funding, which will enable them to succeed in the future. Starlink was a startup with no funding. So how did it accommodate its growth from $0 to $500 million without such support?
Actually, the reason behind this is that we have a solid foundation, and we started actually building the business step by step. It has been built in an organic way with a studied growth, and based on that, we always kept also investing and reinvesting in the company, because our objective is not just to achieve the targets and goals. Our objective is to grow this company to be an international global company. And this is why we managed to do this during the last 16 years. And today we are in a very, very good position when it comes to our success because of our solid foundation.
And just let me add, Mahmoud, really for any startup, definitely for me and Mahmoud, when we started the organization in the beginning, in the first and we were, by the way, profitable from the first year.
Sure.
So because we were very cautious, because all the investment that we have done from our saving, so we need to make sure that we do everything in the right direction. So, and it could be maybe in the beginning, yes, our motivation is to make money and etc. But really, the long-term motivation was really to build a legacy and to make sure that Starlink will continue going, continue our expansion, and this will not happen unless we continue investing in the company. So having an investors, and we know the investors, they, unfortunately in this part of the world, very few investors, they are into technologies, and maybe you will not find an investor who understands cybersecurity. So that will create a conflict of interest, of being passionate about the expansion and someone who's just looking at return of his investment. So that's why the majority of our profit goes back into the companies, and really that helps us to expand and grow the company in a most dynamic way, and the way that you see it today. Yeah.
So speaking of its growth, the growth of Starlink, we know that the greatest asset of any company is its employees.
Yes.
So we actually spoke to the longest serving man in Starlink, who shares with us his story of joining the company. So I wanted to show you guys a video that we prepared beforehand.
Sure.
My name is Izzuddin Lalazzo. I am a senior officer, admin and PRO of Starlink. I joined Starlink more than 11 years. The date I joined Starlink, at that time, I just advertised it in the newspaper, and I got call from Mr. Nidal that day, and he asked me to come for interview. In the same call, actually, he asked me to bring your passport copy, photo, and degree, so we can start your visa processing. And from that call, to be honest, I think because of that call, Mr. Nidal confirmed that I have to work with Starlink. Second day I came and I meet Mr. Nidal and Mr. Mahmoud, which is the date of my relationship with my brothers actually start from that date. I seen this company growing up during these years. Yani it's more than 11 years now I joined this company. I love this company. We have in the company sleeping bag. That was in past maybe 10 years. And it was during JITEX. My house was close to the office, but there wasn't time to go and get rest there. So there was a sleeping bag in the office. We got sleep sometimes there. I learned a lot of things from the bosses. I'm calling them the bosses, but they are my big brother, my elder brother. I learned from them a lot of things. I would like to thank them, thank Starlink. I love everyone in this company, and it's my home. That's what I'm feeling. I cannot say second home because it's my home.
So very touching
Yeah.
and heartfelt. So this is Aziz,
Yes.
and I want to hear the story from your guys' perspective of him joining Starlink. So how did you
Since
first...
Nidal,
Yeah, actually, it was very interesting. As he's a really, what attracted me about him is his attitude, and he's young, energetic, has no experience in what, we have an opening as an office admin, and we need someone that really we can trust, having him in the back office, supporting us in the logistics and in admin work. So as he mentioned, it was in the call, I was really exciting to have him part of the family, and he is like, is our brother. And he is a hard worker, and the most exciting about the way that he is multitasking. Whatever you ask him to do, he is very humble, down to the earth, and working hard. And yeah, I remember these days when he started. Even we were using him during JITEX. He was working marketing. He's doing whatever it take to help us and support us, to let us focus more in business, and all the back office was managed by him.
What I liked about him also is that, yes, we have given him an opportunity when he did not have really experience at that time. But the most important part is that he worked on himself and he developed his skills to where he is today. And this is what we are expecting from all of our employees, actually. Our mission is to build their career, to give them the opportunity. And all of them, they succeeded because of that.
By the way, we also wanted to recognize the longest serving women at Starlink.
Okay.
So, and this one is a personal favorite of mine as well. So please can you help me with the video?
Sure.
Yes.
My name is Sima Devnani. I'm the Group HR Director of Starlink. I'm almost about to complete 8 years. I joined as Senior HR Specialist. I still remember the day when I was being promoted to managerial role 6 years ago. I had mentioned to management there are certain aspects I may not be able to handle or would be challenging. They looked at me and smiled and they said, Sima, your only one job would be to make sure employees are happy. Oh my God, they made my job look so easy. I really feel that they really care for employees because that itself is a very big statement. The best thing about this company is it's an open door policy. Whenever I had any concern, I could directly go to them and discuss. And I also feel they have a magic wand because whenever I enter their cabin and I come out with full of energy, there's a very strong positive vibe which I get, and I get confidence from there to carry out my duties. Starlink is just not a workplace for me, it's more like a family. I would say it has changed my life, and I have noticed that it has changed a lot of employees' life because they have been promoted, they are growing with the organization. I'm very thankful to management for giving me this opportunity and having the trust in me.
So we have heard her story, Nidal and Mahmood.
Yeah.
Tell us the story from your perspective, how at that point of time you felt Seema was the right fit for our organization.
Yeah, I think, I just want to start by saying, by the way, we give equal opportunity for all our employees because they deserve it. Some of them, in some cases, they don't realize up to what level they can go. And it's our mission to identify that. So when we identify that capability, we open the door for them. And I think Sima is a success story of, as an example of what I was mentioning here. So again, the capability was there. We helped her only to go and explore that capability and proven herself. So we appreciate all what she has done. She took the challenge and she has proven that she can do it.
I think, when you look at any organization, the most important asset for any organization is people. So human capital is important. So really Sima, she play a key role in make sure that we keep everyone motivated. Everyone know exactly what the company expectation from them. Their job descriptions is clear, and their KPI is clear, and to be fair. And that's our message to her. Whenever she approaches us with any issues, and I say, you need to be fair with them. For me and Mahmoud, we were also employees before, and we know how people feel when they feel they are not treating well, and these kinds. So we created really a very motivated environment that give the opportunity to anyone growing within the organization. So if you look at Starlink employees that Sima she's interacting with, and I think we have more than 10 resources in HR, and this will let you understand how important this function for us. We have a specialized function within the HR, and I remember when I asked Sima to take over this role as a group HR director, it was a surprise for her because I felt the capability, and she was nice, she was nice with everyone approaching her, and she was friendly, and the way that she's handling the HR cases, and this is our culture. We are friendly people, and we need because the HR for me is a reflection of the management.
Sure.
Yeah.
And she's doing really a great job. Yeah.
So in this topic of meeting people for the first time and impression making, I'm curious to know, Nidal, what is the first thing you notice when you first meet someone?
That's good. I think their attitude, the way that they communicate, their body language. Let me give you an example. As exchanging business card What is the best way to exchange business card? Do you know that, Mahmoud?
Yeah, there's protocols for that actually.
Do you know what is it? How you...
I have no
So
idea.
you have no idea.
I didn't know that there was
I
an
did not know
etiquette.
that, yes.
Okay, I don't have... Can I borrow this one as a business
please.
card?
Yeah.
So this is the best way when you meet anyone. This is the best way to hand over your business card.
This way, okay.
This is the...
And then we are supposed to be also taking it this way?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have seen some of people that I met, they give you a business card like this. Just put it in your table. Okay.
Okay.
But really, maybe, I was reading about this. I think it's a Japanese way of
Exchanging the cards.
exchanging
Yeah,
business
business
card.
cards, yeah.
But it's really, it shows a respect.
It's a very interesting.
That means you respect the person that you give him your business card.
So Mahmood, tell us about your criteria of hiring the employees, and also if you can share us some insights with regards to, what is the roadmap that you have set for employees within the organization.
Thank you, Sidra, for this question. Actually, I think the answer to this question is already in Starlink's spirit. And Starlink spirit, you will find it with each employee, and the batch has the spirit which is hope. And hope represents our criteria for selecting any new member to this family. Being humble, being optimistic, being proactive, and being ethical. This is how we select people. Now, this is very important for us, and this is our main criteria, because the other part of the equation, which is the knowledge and experience, is something that we can work on, and definitely they will gain a lot of experience within the organization. So this is how we do it.
So now, remaining on the topic of employees, we now move from the past towards the present. So I just want to show you a picture that I found from 2008, which is the first Starlink kickoff group picture. This was the first one taken, and look how many people there are. I don't know if the faces are still familiar to you.
100%. We
Yes.
know them by heart,
Yeah,
one by one.
And still we have a relationship with them.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
of them.
And this is the most recent one in 2020, the kickoff,
Yeah.
when it was last face-to-face, and look at the growth of it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, Mahmoud, how has such a growing team contributed to Starlink's growth?
So I think, yes, it's amazing actually to see the difference between these two pictures. And the reason behind our success actually is our main asset, which is our employees. And the difference between the two pictures actually show us the growth and the contribution that they have done to be where we are today. So I want to thank every one of them for their contribution in our success. And definitely we'll continue growing with these stars.
So Nadal, back in 2009, Starlink had only 5 vendors, okay?
Yeah.
And within span of decade, it's more than 50 vendors with a
Yeah.
turnover of $500 million,
Yeah.
right? And let's, I think, look at that wheel.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I want to show you the iconic Starlink solution cycle over the years
Yeah.
to visualize this growth. So this was in 2012, where you had 13 vendors.
Yeah.
This was 2015 with 25 vendors, 2018 with 36 vendors, and now 2021 with more than 50 vendors.
Yeah.
So Nadal, on that note, how do you manage to give the right amount of focus for all the vendors across the board?
Yeah, first of all, if you look at these 50 vendors, we are into this business for 16 years. So you can see that in average, we are adding 3 to 4 vendors per year. Because we believe adding a new vendor to the portfolio is a huge responsibility. And we are very selective whenever we pick the right vendors to ensure that this vendor, first, it fit in our story, our solution story, and complement what we are doing. Second, we need to ensure that we are bringing the market leader technology to the market. And one of the most important criteria we look at when we are adding a new vendor is the vendor commitment to the region in terms of investment, in terms of resources and activities and all that. So this is important. And internally, the way that we are managing it, we have, a product management team. It depends on the size of the vendors. The number of transactions, the volume, we will hire dedicated or shared resources. It depends on the size of the vendors. But before we sign any new vendors, we go into a deep discussion with the vendors during the business planning, before we do the kick off the relationship, to ensure that we have the right expectations and KPI. And we developed internally a playbook for onboarding new vendors. And within that playbook, we have like 90 days plan for onboarding the vendors in terms of what investment that we have to offer from our side and what the vendor's responsibility as well. And we close monitoring this on weekly basis, at least on the first 90 days. This type of follow-up really make sure that we look at every single details and make sure that everything that we promised to the vendor, it's already delivered across all the countries. So that's why we managed to have a really very successful relationship with many vendors, and really these vendors enjoying working for Starlink because we have a clear visibility in terms of what we will bring to them as a value add and what we expect from them as well. So yeah, it was a great story to see going from 5 vendors to 50. But as I said, it was done in 16 years. You know, you cannot do this in just 1 year. You know,
but still, it's a massive growth, right?
It's a massive. You know, it depends on in the phases. You know, when you talk about 2006 and 2010, it was a different need and the market demand and the requirement, and we are watching what's going also on the market, and we need to ensure that we are ahead of our game to always bring the next generation technology to the market. Yeah.
And also we believe that in Starlink we sell solutions. It's not just about single technology. So we build our solutions, and that allowed us really to bring the whole vendors together in our solutions life cycle.
Right. Yeah. So Mahmoud, since inception, Starlink pride itself in being a true value-added distributor. So what does that mean to you?
True value add can be, you know, explained in different ways, to be honest with you. But today in Starlink, for example, we believe in order for us to provide value, we have to be on the ground, for example, as an extension of our vendors, being close to our partners and their customers. This is a way of demonstrating our value add. On top of that, our specialization. Today, Starlink is specialized in different domains in cybersecurity, cloud, and IA. And this is something unique also, and it brings value to the market and to our vendors, partners, and customers. And the most important part actually of the whole equation, beside also that we sell solutions, is that how we will support everyone on the ground. And this is why we invested really heavily in our customer success department, which include different functions such as technical support, such as professional services, training, and innovation center. This is a true VAD, and this is how we define true VAD.
So Nidal, I want to ask you something now. Taking into account Starlink's vision, what is a milestone that you're working to achieve?
Again, if I look at Starlink history, you know, we went through a different 3 major milestones, or let me say 3 different phases. The phase 1 was the foundation, and it started back in 2005 till 2010, where we were focusing in bringing niche vendors in cyber security space. And really at that time, we were focusing in building also our brand in the market, building our channel ecosystems, our customers, and our story, and educating the market about, you know, our business model. So that's the first phase. And then the second phase was really to be more specialized. I call it expansion phase. We start expanding, we start replicating what the success story that we have done in a few countries to the rest of the market, and we start expanding geographics, and we start having more offices across Middle East, and we start expanding in terms of our portfolio and focusing more into the core vendors. We call them cybersecurity core vendors, such as FireEye, bringing Palo Alto, Forcepoint, and Micros, Infoblox. All these vendors came in the second phase, during the expansion phase from 2011 till 2015. And in 2015, we were the largest cybersecurity value-added distributor in the region in terms of revenue. So we were thinking, okay, what will be the next step? So that's why we enter the third phase, which was And really it was a challenge because we're going to try something different, and it's outside of our comfort zone, which is cybersecurity. And we started what I call that phase is evolution phase. And we started our cloud and data center business unit. And it was really unique because we need to get into a new field. And the great thing that we have built really a great foundation when it comes to distribution. So that's a cloud. We start building it where we start bringing in new vendors to our portfolio, such as Nutanix and Citrix, Junipers, and the rest, Commvault, and the rest of the vendors. And today, the cloud data center business unit contribute almost 35% of our total growth, total revenue, with double-digit growth year over year. So that's the third phase, which is till 2020. Now, this year, we are entering the fourth phase, or the third, or the fourth milestone in our growth, and we call it the VAD of the future, right? And we believe Starlink going into a massive transformation with intelligent automation. That's a new domain, and maybe you saw a couple of days ago we launched our intelligent automation solutions with a partnership with 7 different vendors that they complement each other. And we believe that any customer who's looking at the digital transformation, the future is the intelligent automation. So we are super excited that we are getting into this domain as well.
So talking now more personally, a couple of fun facts that we know about you that others might not know is that you, Mahmoud, enjoy scuba diving. And Nidal, you enjoy interior design.
Yeah.
So how do such hobbies that you enjoy reflect on the way that you both lead Starlink?
And if I want to reflect this hobby to the business side, for example, I can think of taking calculated risk, being structured, organized, exploring new areas and domains as we are doing today in business, and being pioneer in what we do, because there is no way to do any mistake. We have to succeed and be pioneer in what we do. I think this is how I can translate it into business.
For me, the interior design, it's interesting. Whenever I go for any meeting customers and or partners or vendors, I start looking at their offices and and the fit out and the design that they have, because really I enjoy the interior design. And if I want to relate this to the business, I believe doing distribution, you need to be an artist, and you need to be creative, because you are dealing with the different parties that they have a different expectation from us. And really you need always to think out of the box, coming with always new initiatives and new ideas and how to develop the market, and really coming up with a brand new idea. And this is really one of the most challenging part of what we are doing. But sometimes when you look at today Starlink offices, I get involved in their design and interior design and the furniture and all this stuff. But it really allows me to disconnect somehow from the business and give me a different energy. But yeah, somehow I feel it is related. And sometimes I felt, when I get into a project to do, by the way, all my interior design is related to the business. I don't do it subcontracting, just to make sure, Mahmoud, I don't spend time outside.
I'm sure about that.
So the interior design project, that when I get into a new office, we usually take it from scratch. It has sand and there's nothing. And it reminds me of the Starlink, when we build the Starlink from scratch. And it really, in all the offices that we build in 20 countries, I was involved in their design and the concept and really to create a very nice work environment to the team. Yeah.
Even in business, Nidal, you are really great in terms of building things from scratch. So thank you so much for this hobby.
Well, I think your love for interior designing is very evident the way you have designed your office space.
Yes, we took a video when
that,
you weren't there. So.
Oh, that's my office.
Yes.
Looks so gold it is. It looks like some picture from a palace.
Yeah. He loves gold. This is my favorite area here.
Yeah.
And the coffee.
lamp
Wait for it.
shades.
Look at the coffee. Yes.
So Nidal, on that context, right, why does Starlink as a distributor feel the need to spend so much on real estate? Like we have massive offices in Dubai, Saudi, a huge one in Egypt and 20 other countries.
The idea, let us agree, first of all, as Mahmoud said, if you look at the value-added distribution, if you are not close to the partners and customers and you're trying to do business remotely, this is not a value-add. Value-add, that means you need to be in the field. Close to, and that will allow you to really understand the local challenges, local culture, and be able to respond in a timely manner to any kind of request, being BOCs or technical support or professional service engagement. So that's why we believe if any distributor claiming that they are a value-added distributor, they need to be at least in 20 countries, close to their customer and partners. So that's why, and again, when we look at the countries where we need to operate, we operate in, we select the prime location in that city with a prime even building, and really we invest heavily in the offices because we think long term. I mean, we need to stay in the countries or that city for long term, and really we spend more time in the offices than our home. Definitely. So that's why I think having a nice, state-of-the-art design, and it will give really a positive energy to the team and allow them to. And it's, by the way, it's a reflection of the quality of the services we have. If you look at the quality of the team, the quality of the service, quality of everything we do, the quality of the vendor that we bring. I mean, we have been known as. We are always doing everything we do, even if we do marketing activities, we do it at a quality. So that's why we don't compromise even in the quality of the offices, and we need to make sure that all of offices across the region has the state-of-the-art technology as well. And so the team enjoy it, and I believe some of them, they don't want to leave the offices because we have really many nice.
We heard that from his.
Yeah, so we have many things.
Yes, speaking of that, I took also pictures.
We have a very good lounge also, right?
Yeah, I love this one.
The ping pong table.
I practice it. Really, it's helped, especially after a long day, before I go home. You'll find me here playing with. I play a lot with my CFO, so I'm Jet. Okay. Actually, literally every day. Mahmoud loved this one.
This is my favorite as well.
Mahmoud loved this one before.
This is my favorite.
Yeah.
There's even a PlayStation.
And this one also.
This is we did it in 43rd floor PlayStation area. This is the most recent one.
There's a VR.
Nice one.
Yeah, that's HS. Yeah.
Yes, it's a very fun office, I must say.
Yeah, because really we need, we are sometimes we go under huge pressure in terms of transaction operation, dealing with the very hard decisions and taking a different position. And really when you need to relax sometimes, and I think these few things and small things that we put in the office, it really help.
Now coming towards the end of our episode, I'd like to get each of your final comments to end with.
From my side, I want to thank Starlink Stars actually for their contribution to this success, and also to say to everyone that we will continue bringing new initiatives to the market. Today we have already 10 initiatives, and we are also announcing more initiatives during JITEX. And thank you for everyone.
And from my side, I want to send really 3 messages. The first one for our vendors, and I would like to thank them for the outstanding and long-term partnership. And the second message for our partner, for their commitment, loyalties, and the business that we have it with them. And the last but not least, for our customer, that allow us really to, and we learn a lot from these customers, and to allow us to serve them, and to be a trusted advisor for the last 16 years. And we will continue enhancing, improving our portfolios and our skills as well to meet and address the customer challenges and their demand, future demand as well. Yeah, and thank you for having us, and really we enjoy the discussion. And thank you very much again, and look forward to have another episode, I think.
So,
Have another one?
yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Soon.
If you have time.
Thank you, Nidal and Mahmoud, founders of Starlink. This was Mace,
And I'm Sidra.
and we look forward to seeing you at GITEX.
His Starlink Pulse will be featured at Starlink GITEX stand, where we'll continue to have conversations with the leaders of our industry. So make sure you stop by.
And that concludes our episode. Make sure to subscribe to us and like if you're watching us on YouTube, or follow if you're listening to us on Spotify. Also, leave us your thoughts and feedback on pulse@starlinkme.net.